Alright, ebuson mu bibia kwaba famre to Kings and Blossom e wo YouTube so ase. Ebuson aba nsem ahodo a ekoso o ma se na de beso mahwefo. Enyina na de tenyina nsa ebuson a yebekọ ne akwa akọje nsem ya nchemu a efa Afenyo Markin ho a yese eye minority fo na ankasa ibibu afu ne pen yi o ma dwane pa. Na nsa na bekọ nsem so mesrew se wonya subscribe mfa my YouTube channel ya no subscribe e de amane. Ebuson ase me bo wura nsem ma de tenyina nsa Afenyo Markin na no da na chese demo because so apapai ekoda suban dia chese mpenfo ani anje ho yesi ne party name ana chese wana wuma a omo so empe suban no koda na di no HM se papai pa dia wo se chese litimi e pam no e di ni friend de because on sem fata obi a wo se di e domain na me person ka se tente beko akọji sanse nyina enchemu e de aba medin e de kwan gentle
government kwasi ampan you go Supreme Court I didn't go Supreme Court because of see Parliament here, one arm of government, and nobody is supposed to do what? Intimidate. Nobody is supposed to disgrace. Nobody is supposed to try and belittle Parliament. This fool. Ochina Parliament be into more NPP for. You expect Afenyo Markin to rise up and talk to Yani Ghana for said yen. Because a whole political party, you are condoning this nonsense. You expect this guy to come and lead you. And you expect we Ghanaians to respect you. And you, Ekufuado, you, Hakmano Uswajman, you, somebody called Michael Kwe, you, these elders in the party, a party in opposition, you expect rational Ghanaians who are still angry to do what? To listen to your parliamentarians, to listen to Afenyo Markin and make a decision. Now, the question to the NPP is simple. Afenyo Markin ebe lead mu for 120 days. As a minority leader, a dear partner NPP as minority, what have you achieved, this dog? I am asking you people. Now I'm saying I'm ready an hour ago. Now I'm ready the achievement of John Mahama after 120 days in office. Me busamo NPP for me show a video that will be on record for years. The question is, Akwawebeye NPP minority leader. We are basically in 4 months. What are his achievements? What are his achievements? Because today, everything about Afenyo Markin, Ghana history, politics about Afenyo Markin say he's the first minority leader, a politician from the NPP who stood in public and slapped a uniformed police officer. Hey, this is not a joke. This basically brings the party into a shithole. And anytime people say, for 4 months and minority, what has he achieved for you people? Now let's go into Afenyo Markin's 120 days. Afenyo Markin's 120 days. The reason why we are here today, the reason why we're telling the NPP say, if you don't change this guy, if you don't make sure this fool is taken away from your front, the NPP can never be attractive to Ghanaians again. And I know, because the NPP is filled with animals, with people who don't think, with people who think Ghanaians are stupid. But this guy, it basically sums up the last 4 months amuko opposition. Police in Afenyo Markin after 120 days. These are the sins of Afenyo Markin. This is a party that wants to come to power. This is a party that wants Ghanaians to see, say, they have rebranded themselves. This is a party that Ghanaians want Ghanaians to believe, say, they are a party with intelligent people who are humble, who respect the rule of law. This is Afenyo Markin will lead a party in opposition. The question here is, a day in Afenyo Markin in the past 4 months, or leading the NPP in opposition, what has he done? And Afenyo Markin as the leader of the NPP in parliament, a lawmaker, a minority leader, is that he has slapped a police officer on duty. These are the sins of Afenyo Markin. And we will never forget this. These sins are not going anywhere. And NPP, let me tell you people, someone will say simpler. This is the beginning of your party. This party will collapse because you have allowed a fool to lead this party. Yeah? Afenyo's sins only made the NPP look bad before reasonable Ghanaians. Now, since Afenyo Markin was made the majority leader by Akufo-Addo, a position he clearly didn't deserve, according to a former leader, Oseche Mensah Bonsu. He has always wanted everything to be about him and not the party or its progress. He wants to make news and always be in the news for his personal image, enhancement, and not the growth of the party. These are facts. Since somebody Afenyo Markin as a minority leader, a thug who is slapping uniformed police officers, he has always made everything about himself. That is why every single day this party keeps going down the shithole. But because Mojiminti, Afenyo Markin became the majority leader in 2024 because it was Akufo-Addo's idea, not because Akufo-Addo was looking for somebody who was competent, or not because Afenyo was competent to lead. They knew Afenyo psychologically wasn't matured enough to lead a group of men and women. But because Akufo-Addo, because of his selfish interest, no against the NPP for Jimmy, so he needed Afenyo Markin to come do dirty job for him. So the guy is not cut for the job. And since he became the minority leader, it has always been about him. It has always been about what he wants. It has always been about his foolishness. It has always been about disgracing and running the party down. Anytime people say NPP say, "Mo party no," for you people to be comfortable with Afenyo Markin, who slaps a police officer in public as the minority leader, mo party no, mo expect to say Ghana for, you better not say Ghana for tomamo. Afenyo Markin moves to Supreme Court, and these are some of the things that Ghana for bufu. The reason why Ghana for do want to abanity NPP in 2024 was these actions are Afenyo Markin take here. Because you see, at a point, Afenyo Markin was underestimating Parliament. And it's a analyze here. The actions of Afenyo Markin, the latter part of Murray, he is the person who cost you more. Eh? Afenyo Markin moves to the Supreme Court to restrain the speaker from declaring independent seat vacant in October 2024. Sa action Afenyo Markin it basically made a lot of Ghanaians angry. Their anger towards the party swelled. It became bigger. You know why? Because Afenyo Markin, at the end of the day, the same parliament that made him a human being, he wanted to do what? Denigrate the parliament. He wanted to take the power of the parliament and then to give to the Supreme Court. Now, this action angered the courts of public opinion against the NPP, even though this instance wasn't part of the petition for the removal of the CJ from office. This instance by Afenyo Markin made Parliament look weak with no power, and such a move only infuriated reasonable Ghanaians to vote massively against the NPP. When Afenyo Markin took that decision, make sure Afenyo Markin, since he became opposition, from majority leader to opposition leader, this is what Afenyo Markin has done to you people. So that decision will take you know. What he did, time or day, Parliament, Echo Supreme Court, what he did was that he made Parliament look weak. Parliament that is part of. Parliament now, Okahono, we had few months to elections. Afenyo Markin deliberately decided to disrespect Parliament, to make Parliament weak. It made reasonable Ghanaians angry. Because one, the people were already angry with the government. How can you, as the majority leader, then decide to take the power of Parliament to make Parliament look weak, to make your party and yourself look bigger? Because even in the party, Afenyo Markin saw himself say he was what? He was bigger than the NPP. Now, what made people so angry was when Afenyo Markin took that case to Parliament, to Supreme Court, it took the Chief Justice less than 48 hours to make sure she constituted a panel to sit on the case. So everybody was like, the perception that people had that the Supreme Court, led by Tokonu, she was flirting with Afenyo Markin, that action actually put the ice on the cake. And some Ghanaians who were not even thinking of voting against the NPP now were convinced that if we don't do something, the NPP will run this country down and they are going to run the Supreme Court down. Because the actions of Afenyo Markin and the actions of the Supreme Court Chief Justice, it is clearly showing, say, in Sema yet, it is true. So Afenyo Markin rendering Parliament weak, thinking that was going to make him powerful over the NPP and also was going to, at the end of the day, make his girlfriend, Toko no powerful no, it actually pushed the NPP into opposition. It is some more problems now the opposition now. The day you made Afenyo Markin your majority leader in opposition 2020 in power 2024 no, ever seen there no Afenyo Markin I ran him party down on the Democrat opposition. There were so many people who voted against the NPP because of this action. And I'm showing the Afenyo Markin obey no into the wire in there no, it is worse. Do you think any reasonable Ghanaian what cry will soon say or person Ghana will sit and say a minority leader slaps a police officer and that person na adwene adwuma say me koto aba masa party no only power or bo police ni asum wo bedwom now ma kwase we power enti oku nipa 8 no. Now see, this is Afenyo Markin 120 days na me chechiri machire no. I will never sit in the minority leader's seat. It isn't good spiritually. Afenyo Markin November 2024. Your man position say ombeye minority leader or see on tna a minority seat. It was about him. It was all about him. Afenyo Markin knew say NPP for Jimmy. It was about him. Just to sit in the minority seat was on yet. And you see, that time Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo had control over the party. And he still has control. It's nobody in the NPP Onim Nyansa could tell this man say, you are making the people more angry. Afenyo Markin was still pissing Ghanaians off. His actions were childish. It was about him. It was about what he would get. It was about being in the news. It was always making people think, say, party nanka said, Yomo Jimmy, na menkwani nyanseni amiwum, and then away did and police ni asum as the minority leader. Do you think, say, anybody who was angry with the NPP in 2024, this action now, that person is going to be like, oh, because of that, I'm going to vote for the NPP? Never. It shows to say, when you people are given power again, we know you people, and we know what you can do. Now, this single comment collapsed the NPP front. It was a statement that made people within the NPP eager to vote against their own party, to teach Afenyo Markin a good lesson for his arrogant posture. It how more committee report say arrogance of power. Of power. It was because of these things. And Mami Kanjamo, Adia did the final nail ebo Madake in 2024 was Afenyo Markin. The arrogance, the posture, what he did, it pissed a lot of Ghanaians off. And the funny thing is,